Testing 1, 2. How we sound? Chris Rose. Happy Valentine's Day, Chris Rose. Yeah. How's the sound, everybody? Do we sound all right? Yeah, of course I do. Everything sound all right? Can I get a witness? I don't know where your notes are. Okay, well, why did you lose them? Do I have them?
When I went running. Yeah, right? There's a lot of that.
Here they are. Prevented them from rolling away.
Right? That's what I figured.
Love you too. Chris said he loves me, dear. 2 minutes, everybody. 2 minutes. Big show today. Sound okay? Can anybody hear us? Why can't I see the mouse? It's so sunny out. Oh, thank you. Sounds okay. All right. All good so far. Well, you know what happens if we get kicked off? We'll just put it back on. You're going to sit next to me?
If I have to. Karen's not here to give me
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
This is a problem. Can't see the screen.
Take your shirt off.
Oh, it's a little chilly, though.
Please.
I know, I'm a baby.
Here's Jim.
Hi, Missy.
Did you see Judy walk by?
No.
Yep.
I didn't. Maybe she...
You were
she can get
somewhere.
to the pier.
Huh?
Is she on the pier?
On the pier?
Yeah, she walks out on the pier.
No. She's in there.
You're irritating me already. I need glasses.
There's my nose. Forrest.
Run, Forrest, run!
Thank you. 1 minute, everybody. Can't lose my notes. I don't know what I would do without them. I don't know what I would do without them. You can, yeah. Yeah, we're going to shoot right into it, yeah. Yeah, we'll test the microphone. Test the microphone, too. Make sure everybody could hear you. Everybody could see you. You're a little dark. Does he look a little dark?
What's that? I don't blame you.
What is this all about? They're yelling at the bicycles. They're driving carts through here. 30 seconds, everybody. 30 seconds. We have the right sound. We have the right camera. Forrest, just so you know, that's where all your fans are right there. Did you say hi to Nikki?
Yeah.
Are you going to stick around? Nikki. Are you going to stick around? All right. Recording is starting. Oh, wait. Where are we? Hold on. Shh. "30 seconds. 30 seconds. I made a mistake. 30 seconds. It's got to be professional. It's got to be professional. The professional starts today. The professionalism starts today. Oh, we got a big crowd, everybody. Ed, you're 100 today. Missy thinks she's funny. So funny. It's a dog day here. All right. Are you ready yet? Ten seconds. 10 seconds. Police is packed already. It's going to be noisy today, everybody. All right, here we go. Make sure it's turned up.
Vacuum cleaners, we got blowers, we got.
This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Live from Peach Time Out in the heart of Times Square. You're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Ryan.
And a good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode number 100. Oh, we are broadcasting live from Beach Time Out on Fort Myers Beach. It is February the 15th, 2020, and we are back out at table 23, right in the heart of Times Square. This morning it is sunny, and what would you say, about what, 70 right now? Because it's windy.
Yeah.
It's a lovely day.
I mean, there's a tiny little bit of...
It's a lovely day.
Yeah, that
dog was
Good
being
Lord.
mean.
It was not. It's barking.
A big thank you to all of our great sponsors, Pete's Time Out, FMB Designs and Remodeling, and Nikki brought us some nice balloons
That
for
was
our 100th
very
anniversary.
Nice. So sweet, so thoughtful.
Shuckers at the Gulf Shore and the Cottage Bar and Fort Myers Tiki Tour. Stay tuned all morning long for more information about all of our great sponsors. At 9:30 today, Lee County Commissioner Ray Sandelli will join us to talk about how his life is on the county board since he was appointed about 6 months ago, and he is running for election in 2020, just like our first guest is for the Fort Myers Beach Town Council, and that is Forrest Critser. Forrest, welcome back for your second appearance on our show.
Thank you so much for having me back. I'm looking forward to it.
We appreciate you coming down, and so how has the campaign been going?
It's doing all right. It's getting up there, and you know, the first time I ran in 1881, yeah, 2016.
You were in the Vietnam War, but you weren't in the Civil War.
Well, I am 72. No, in 2016, I was unknown. I wasn't on very many committees, and my name wasn't out there except it was affiliated with First Baptist Church, or Beach Baptist as we know it today. And so I floated along. It felt like I was trying, but I came in fourth. And this year, as soon as I came out in December with your help on the radio, people found out who I was. I started getting emails and phone calls, and, you know, I really appreciate that. And I'll take any email and phone call, and I'll return them as promptly as I can, because I like the voters to know where I'm at and how I stand, and it encourages me to know that people really are interested. And I think they're more interested now than they were in 2016.
Yeah, what are some of the issues when they call you and email you? What are they asking you about?
The main issues is how are we going to move people on this island? The traffic, you know, and what are we going to do with the influx of people because of our uplift and facelift that we're having? You know, that seems to be the main issue right now. And of course, we are also getting water quality calls about, are you keeping things clean, and what is the government doing? Are you going to be active in that? And those type of questions. Some are just curious about me, I hope, and others are just, you know, they're really interested in issues.
Now, when you talk about the facelift and the uplift of the beach, what is your feeling about the branding or rebranding of the beach?
Well, I was so glad when I was in the town council meeting the first part of this month that they said that they're going to stay with Fort Myers Beach. Mm-hmm. And I was so glad to hear that. You know, there's a lot of the businesses and paperwork and the post office and with zip codes, it would have to change and all that. And so now they're going to go with that, and I think they're going to coin the phrase the way it looked like, FMB. Mm-hmm. And we're going to put a design on the F to show our island. And there's been several things that's come up about that to use, and I think they're keying in on one specific thing, I believe.
So you feel like it's a necessary thing to do the branding?
Oh, I think we need to brand. Anytime you can brand and draw attention to your community when we're looking for tourism is a great thing. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be attractive. Some of the town's businesses are already showing their colors. We've seen some people painting. I don't know if they're trying to get ahead of the ordinance or what, but it does look good. I mean, and I'm so excited about Times Square and the new floor method they're going to have here.
One of the things that came up at the last town council meeting, I saw you were sitting in the audience too. You were at that one.
The marathon meeting.
First of all, what do you think about how the town council meetings are run?
The town council meetings they're trying to cram a lot in these last couple of months because they've been working on issues all along, and they're trying to get them in. This town council, for the most part, has worked well together.
Right.
I mean, they've been able to to agree to disagree. And after they disagree and they talk about issues, especially, you know, people go to hear the town council. It's a great thing to go to hear that planners meeting, because that's even better.
You mean the LPA meeting, or do you mean
the planning meeting for the town council?
That's even longer.
Sometimes
it seems like they dig deeper into the issues, but I don't want to get off on that.
Yeah,
so you were sitting at the council meeting there, and I forgot the question now. Shoot.
It'll come back to you.
Anyway, so one of the questions I wanted to ask you about, if you were on the council now, would you vote for the dune walkover? That's been a huge controversy, and it's coming up again at the Tuesday meeting after the President's Day vacation day.
You know, at that planner meeting when that came up, and them ladies there was holding up the bird pictures and everything, that's the heart of our island. It is our wildlife.
They were holding up bird pictures.
They had bird pictures, and I heard, I didn't see it because I was close to the front row, but someone, I think, had a sign they were holding up, you know, Save Our Beach or something throughout, showing it to the council members. And I'm just, my issue is that I cannot see a walkover, on that reservoir and the number I heard was 9 people. And they want to make it a private boardwalk. Now, when those people bought that place, that was there. They knew what they bought into.
Not all of it, but yeah.
Yeah, but they knew what they bought into. And we pride ourselves in our wildlife on this beach. And
so you're convinced there's wildlife there. Well, they say there isn't.
I've seen it.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you go back to that. It's been documented that it's there.
I'm just saying what they're saying is there aren't any birds there.
People
There's
say
always 2 issues to every thing.
One story. 2 sides, you mean?
But
or something like
2
that.
sides.
2 sides to one issue. Yeah.
And so you would vote no.
I would vote no as it is today.
So you know that if this doesn't pass on Tuesday, that those guys are going to continue with lawsuits.
They have that option.
And so, I mean, that's more taxpayer money that's going to have to be spent on defending it. And it sounds like from what they say that they have all the documentation that it's their property and they can do this.
Nobody just claims that it's not their property.
Right.
You know, but there is a ordinance in town that protects our wildlife and our walkover and the dunes.
There's an ordinance that protects the dunes.
Sure.
Okay. So where do you think it's going to go?
I think they're going to vote no on it.
Okay, and
I really do.
And then what happens after that?
That's up to the party that's trying to get it done.
Gotcha.
No.
Next question.
No, keep going.
What do you think about the fact that this construction is going on right now behind us during the busiest time of the year, and that the town council was not even notified by Lee County?
Typical bureaucracy.
Yeah.
You know, the county, I just can't. They have done so much on this beach. It seems adversity to what we're trying to create.
Right.
A happy, warm feeling for tourists to come, and in the middle of the season, they tear our walk up so the people can't even walk out on the beach. They changed the trolley stop. I'm sure they have the FDOT has a reason for that. But
I found out what it was.
I haven't heard it yet.
I did. And what you're talking about is stopping on this side where it stops traffic.
Correct.
Compared to stopping over by the lighthouse where it wasn't stopping traffic.
Correct.
They said because on this side there were average 31 people. On the other side it averaged 49. That's what the answer was.
That's not a good enough answer. What are they talking about? The traffic they keep backing up.
Right.
When they stop behind it. That's our sole goal on this beach with our tourism and our traffic is to move that traffic. You know, I talked to a lady yesterday when I was out, and she says, can you believe they're holding the people and they're not letting them walk across this crosswalk that they're people? I says, that's correct, ma'am. You don't understand. We've got to move traffic, and we can move people at the same time. Look at the other cities, how they hold people back at these crosswalks.
Let it build up until there's enough people.
I think the best thing that I've heard that this beach is going to do is our FDOT's doing is putting that light and that walk button light on the crosswalk here on Main right there. That's going to be great. And that's already been approved.
Right. Eventually there's going to be 3 lights. The one you have now, another one we're closer to TPI is going to
Crescent. Right.
And then one over here in Old San Carlos.
Right. That's the one I'm talking about, the Old St. Carlos. Because I have, I drive this beach a lot.
Yeah.
And this stuff at night is just rough.
That was you just led right into the next question. So driving at night or walking at night and the whole light issue here on Estero, what is your feeling on that? I mean,
well, I'm not for spending millions and millions of dollars to have to put those poles in and another set of lights. There has to be in our technology a lighting system that people and turtles can coexist.
right.
Okay, there's got to be a happening. There's other beaches. I heard that I think it was Fort Lauderdale that has a computer system on their lighting where they can control certain times of the day, night, whenever the lights are burning, and then tone them down and then bring them back up. You know, some system like that. A light system for turtle season and a light season for people season is people season year round.
Right.
You know, we have to protect our environment. I've already said that, you know, in the beginning. We have to protect our beaches and our assets.
And the people that are walking with the
Exactly.
assets on
Yes,
the beach.
yes.
Yeah.
Did you go to the last town council meeting where it appeared like the owner of Sunset Beach and the town attorney, maybe this was the LPA meeting, were really going at it, and it seemed like he was upset that they were coming after him for code violations about the parking lot and about the dumpster or the compactor, and it was just one thing after another, and it just seemed like they were at odds on every single thing going on. What is your view on how the town handles code violations?
First of all, I wasn't at that meeting. That must have been the LPA.
Yes,
okay.
it was.
I wish I'd been there to hear that. But I have already went into paper about codes. You know, laws or codes are the same thing. And we have to abide by them. But I kind of put it in the newspaper, and when I wrote for an answer for the Observer or Sandpaper, I don't remember which one it was now. I'm getting them all sorts of sizes. But as far as codes is concerned, you know, when we go down, when I'm going down 75, hope the cops aren't listening. When I'm going down, you know, 85 or 87 miles an hour, and I see a cop pull out behind me, I shun and I put the brakes on. I'm reminded. Now, when I'm talking on my phone, that's a different story. But when I'm just speeding and it's wrong, you know, I expect to get a ticket, and I'm happy when I don't, and I feel better about it. We have rules and rules and rules and more rules on this beach. And when they're introduced for a reason. They're not just there to be there, okay? So we have to streamline those. I'm running on government light. And government light is not beating our business owners over the head every little thing. I mean, I'm sorry, but I've heard about A-frame signs out here on here. It says, well, that's a code violation. Well, it's temporary. It's not a full-fledged break out the rules type of thing. And that's what I'm saying. Some of this stuff is just ridiculous.
Overkill. Yeah.
It's just overkill. And we've got to get back to where we can agree to disagree and then go on. But I'm not going to go into how many code violations. As you know, I'm from Beach Baptist Church.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's talk about Beach Baptist Church. Your son.
I'm really helping you a lot out today, aren't I?
Providing a lot of info.
Your son came before the town council with $90,000 in code violations back years and years, I'm guessing, because every day they just keep adding and adding and adding up. And he had to explain to them in a calm manner, he's very calm, about how the staff wasn't helpful, and then the staff turned over and over and over. Well, they eventually knocked it from $90,000 to $900, even though one of the council members still wanted to hit him with a $10,000 fine, which totally baffled me. So, I mean, how do you – I know you've seen it firsthand. How do you prevent that from happening? Or is it just, hey, you're violating the code. The code is the code, and you either get in line or you pay the fine.
Okay, some of those code violations were before we ever got here. Okay, and we've been here 15 years. And that building was, we had to prove to the town with for one incident, one of them was with our blueprints. They said that we could not have our retreat center back there with people sleeping in it. That it was not up to code. Okay, well, we do not want anything to not be at the code. You know, we want protection. We want our fire system to be right. We want all that because we have guests coming from New York, from all the way down the line, from Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, that bring groups, Christian groups down here for retreats. So we want them to be safe. That's the first, the utmost on our hearts. Now, as far as those violations are concerned, we have tried to work with the town. And we knew we were in violations, but first of all, we have a fire commission that told us what we had to do. Well, then Bonita Springs gets involved in it, which doesn't even know us as far as our system goes or what the town has agreed us to. So I had to go back into the archives, pull out the blueprints of the original building of the building, and show them where the beds count was on that format, and they stamped it and approved it. So after they saw that, they accepted it. Is what we had.
So I didn't mean for you to get into the weeds like that. I guess my point is, if they know you're working on it, right. Why continue to allow the
well? And I think the thing is, you now know how difficult that process was for you guys, let alone a single homeowner who. I mean, there are people, I'm sure, who egregiously break the rules. But I think most people, it's inadvertent. They don't know, blah, blah, blah. So, you know.
Let's get out of commercial, on the average person then on the street that's doing something. They may not know it's not a code violation. They may not know that they can't change their railings going down steps or something, you know, that it has to be smaller, has to be the size of this ball to push through it in order to pass. And there is a code for that. Now, if they're doing it and it's not, and because the code is designed to make it safe for people. Right. It's all about safety, okay, in that. So if they have done it, they do not get a code violation, but they get a summons, a warning to make it right, to come down to town hall, to apply for the proper permitting, and to get it done correct. They're not automatically hit with a fine or automatically go towards a magistrate.
I don't know if I believe that. There have been some people even on the council were saying that when there's a truck parked in the driveway that comes to cut the lawn or something, somebody sneaking up behind the truck and putting a violation on it. It gets silly after a while with all, you know, it almost makes it seem like sometimes like they need the money for the budget or something. And then somebody said that. What was your son who said that? It makes it seem that way. But anyway, so hopefully all of the news that comes up about the people feeling intimidated by the codes will change things when the new council gets in there. But I guess we'll see about that. What is your opinion on changing the election to 4 years? Again, I know I'm stuck on this, and I don't think that people should be given more time to be in government. What you got is what you got. There was a reason back in the day when you guys incorporated that they made it 3 years. And, you know, that to me, that's like going back and changing the Constitution. I know that's a little drastic, but 3 years.
You just won't let this go.
No, 3 years seems fine to me, because when they change it this time, the first 2 people or 3 people that get elected are going to be 4 years and 8 months. And I just think that 3 years is enough.
Yeah. You know, when I first came on in December, I gave you my opinion of that. And since then, my direction has changed, because I've been researching and talking to the people out and what they think about it. And first of all, the terms, the terms need to stay around 3 years. You know, if
before you get to that, what did the people say to you?
The people are saying that 4 years is too long.
Yeah.
They're also saying that 2 years is too short.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Because if it's just, we need to stay with at least a 3-year format, because, you know, when somebody runs for election and they're promising people this and that, the first year they're trying to fulfill their promises. Yeah. The second year they're feeling their way and getting their feet down and ready to go. And by the third year, they're starting for re-election again. So they don't really get to govern. They don't give them time to govern.
Oh, that's poppycock. I mean,
no, it's not.
3 years is plenty. 3 years is plenty. But yeah, I mean, that's just, so you think that the people want to keep it at 3 years?
Yeah, I think they do.
What do you think is going to happen? How do you think the vote's going to go?
I think that they're going to, if they read the paper and look at how the town council brought forth and town manager their feelings on it, because they showed the layout and how to do it. I think that we're gonna go with the November election probably.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
It makes
okay
sense,
with you?
Gene,
That's
but
okay with me.
but we got a lot of people that are not going to be here at that time that are here in March.
They can vote by mail, right?
They can vote by absentee.
Right.
Yeah.
So they know what's going on. They can vote by
Yes,
mail.
yes, they can. Yes, they
And
can.
so how do you think the 3 years is going to go?
I think that we're going to stay with the 3 years.
Okay, yes. Well, the council, a good number of the council members are advocating for more.
Yeah.
Because they feel, and I get it, they feel like you need a little bit more time to get settled and all that. But
okay.
It is what it is. So you have a question, dear?
No,
You don't have any
I just don't.
questions?
I've been asking questions all along.
All right. So why should people vote for Forrest Critser?
I have been on this island for 15 years. I have been actively involved behind the scenes with code enforcement and the workings of my people that are in our church. I hear their concerns and the problems that they've ran into, and I feel like I've got a direction which we can go and bring the people and the government together, in which that it will operate smoothly. And the county, pardon me, the county has graciously gave us a gift with Bay Oaks, and they don't want it back. I wonder why, but we've got Bay Oaks. It can be a highlight on our island if we can get the proper interest to highlight, to show our neighbors where it's at. Not our neighbors, but our guests where it's at, the pool and what have you. It would be used more effectively, and it's a great piece of property back there, and it's a great thing that we can have for also the residents. So I'm all for that part of it, and I hope people realize that, because that's one of our issues is Bay Oaks. I'm for downtown beautification. I've always been in business. I was in business for 30 years. I ran my own company in Kentucky. Now, we have to have a pleasing and place for people to go. I hate seeing this back here going on now with the racket and the noise and guests coming down and having to go through not only do we have this going on, but we got the road project going on. We got enough going on without adding more. We need more communication with our county government so that we can intertwine in the projects and kind of help them and show them what's going on here.
Do you think the town needs a public information officer?
Yes.
You do? Why?
I do.
Why?
I do. We need to get our message out to the public. We need someone who is professional in communicating with people, in brochuring with people, that can work along with our chamber, which, by the way, does a great job of getting the word out. Was it Jackie?
Mm-hmm.
Jackie, she does a marvelous job trying to promote, and sometimes she butts heads with town council. They don't see things eye to eye, but she has first and foremost on her heart and mind is what is best for Fort Myers Beach.
So, but what is going to differentiate you from the other?
That's my next question. Look at you read my mind. Go ahead.
What differentiates me is that I am a people person. I am whether you believe it or not, a listener. And when I'm knocking on doors, I'm not talking, but I'm listening.
Yeah.
And then when my chance comes to spout off, I'm ready, because I've had enough practice in that. But my focus is on love of our community and unity and unifying, not being controversial. Controversy is going to come up. I told you last time, when 2 or 3 are gathered together, there's confusion. But that confusion can be mapped out and talked about. We've seen our council. We've seen the council before this that they had controversy, but they finally brought themselves together and united and had a unanimous vote on one of the biggest controversies they had on the beach.
And yeah, which one was that? Which one are you referring to? Because it continues.
It's 3 initials, but I get them backwards sometimes.
So when you go into the voting booth in a little bit more than a month, you're going to vote for yourself. I would hope you're going to vote for yourself.
Yep.
Who are the other 2 people you're going to vote for?
I'm worried about myself. No, wait a minute. I got your answer. I know you was going to ask me that because I've been watching your other shows, so I'm kind of lucky on that fact.
You and 8 other people. Go ahead.
I really like Bill Beach.
Mhm.
You know, he's very environmentalist. I've been on the council of Crab with him since 2016. Right after my failure bid, I got on Crab. I got plugged in. He is really conscious about the veterans, and I've been fighting for a veterans memorial.
Mhm.
He's for that. I am for that. Bruce is a good friend of mine. We had a nice campaign together. I still think he got in because of my name.
Explain what you were talking about.
Bruce Butcher.
Right.
My name,
2016.
Yeah, in
is what you're talking about.
2016. And we joke about it when we see each other. I said, Butch, I said, if you hadn't run, I'd have been the top vote getter probably, but you're welcome. I helped you get over.
Because you think people on the beach vote alphabetically.
There is people throughout history that goes to the polls and want to vote and don't know the issues or who they're even voting for.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even know who the incumbent is sometimes. And he's on the top button.
I'm more worried about, I don't think that that's going to be an issue down here. I'm
No.
more worried about the referendum, that people they're going to get hoodwinked by that because there's been no education on that other than, a couple of stories. Yeah, I harp on it. And some stories in the paper, but
right.
not a ton of it. That's a major change, but I don't mean to get caught up on that. So
Thank you.
what else you said? So you're going to vote for Bruce and you're going to vote for Bill Beach.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say I'd vote. You asked me who I liked.
No, I asked you who you're going to vote for.
Well, he's not telling you that.
Well,
He's telling you who he likes.
That's my privilege in the voting, but
that's right.
But Dan ran in 18, and he didn't make it his first time either. He's
Right.
a young man on the island. I think that Dan still has a few dues to pay.
Oh,
He's not. If you notice the council, the average age of the council, and I don't know their ages, but it's in years. It's 60 or so.
well,
Dan's
would be
a
younger.
young man.
So you think you should be 60 or older to be on the council?
No, I don't think to be 60 or older, but I think that you have to live on this beach and understand it. What's going on? We've got another man in this that is very versed in the government.
Yeah.
From Indiana.
Jim Adderall.
Yeah.
Jim. And he is very intellectual and talking on the radio. And people would say, well, he worked for Pence, and I said, well, okay. But he hasn't been in the small town arena. I know on talk radio when he talked about the government and about he may have some influence with the clean water in that area. And he may have to. So we've got a lot of viable candidates. Yeah. I just know that I am exuberant and can't wait to sit on that council and listen to the taxpayers, the voting people of this island, and try to work within our realms of government. And if we don't like it, then we need to get some changes in. There's amendments to the Constitution of the United States. We can have amendments to our comp plan, too.
Yeah. Well, just so you know, before we let you go, that the folks that are having the Dune walkover invited you to their house to see the back of their area there, if you want to go. Eddie,
Okay.
His name is Eddie Root. He's watching the show now, and he said you said you were a good listener, so he invited you down. And
my email address is justshine, JUSTSHINE, at hotmail.com.
Awesome.
And my phone number is 270-860-4972. And I would definitely listen to them.
Well, we appreciate you coming on for the second time. Good luck in the race. You're a super guy, and you're a good sport too to put up with me. And thank you so much. And we'll see you soon, right?
Sounds
Thank you,
good.
Ed.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And you have a great, we love, I sat
Yeah.
in front of the sign.
That's okay.
Run, Forest, run.
There's going to be 100 of them out on Estero, so
All
everybody will
right.
get to see it.
It's going to be Sign Central soon, up and down Estero. So if you want to grab our second guest, I'll tell everybody about Shuckers at the Gulf Shore, the Cottage, and they have some great events coming up. And that is Kylie Morgan and Jay Allen are coming up on the 29th of February, and they have sold out all the VIP tickets for that show. So you only have general admission to get, and that's going to be the 29th. Jay and Kylie are coming down. They're in Nashville now, just kicking ass out there. They're both signed by a record label, and so it's going to be cool to have them down here. The world-famous Cottage Bar opens daily at noon until midnight, lunch and dinner, and late-night menu 7 days a week, offering late breakfast on Saturday and Sunday, happy hour Monday through Friday, noon to 6, live music every night, 8 to midnight. So go on down and see one of our sponsors down there. And, of course, we want you to come on down to Peach Time Out, our longest-running sponsor, and have breakfast or lunch with them. It's such a beautiful day on the beach, and so we invite you to come on down. Find a nice place to park, beat all the traffic before it gets too late, and have a great time here on the beach. And also one more thing before Ray comes on, I want to remind everybody that we did a little pre-show interview at 8:30 with the host of a brand new podcast called Down the Hill. And we want you to check that out. It's really a cool podcast. It was #1 on Apple last week. So check that out, the interview if you can, and also check out the podcast if you can. And right now we are so happy to welcome back for the second time Commissioner Ray Sandelli. Thank you for coming down. We appreciate it.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
It's a pleasure. This is the return tour.
Yeah.
I was only in the seat, I think, 2 weeks when you called me down the first time.
Right.
And so, look, I want to get this off on the right start because when we started last time, you know, one of those pieces of my, thing is about flying for the Navy and the Blue Angels, and you wanted to ask some questions, and, she wanted to talk about the Blue Angels. So I bought you a little gift. Here.
Gifts.
Oh, wow.
So there
How
you go.
cool is
Look
that?
at that.
And so,
Very
so
nice.
now
Very nice.
we can get that out of the way and get to the real stuff,
Yeah,
right?
that's
My little
nice.
gift to you. So
Is that for her or for me?
for her, huh?
Okay, ladies
Come
first.
on.
So yeah, she has to drink out of a smaller glass anyway. So
I'll bring you one next time.
so Ray, give us an update on, you've been in for about, I guess, 6 months
A
now.
little over 6 months.
How is it going? How do you like it?
I love it. I really do. As you know, it came very quickly for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have a lot of time to think about
It's
it.
kind of a surprise.
It was a surprise.
Yeah.
I was honored, but it was a surprise. But I love the work. It's a great team. I'm learning a lot, and I really do enjoy it every day. My wife says, I haven't seen you this excited in a long time. I think it's just a new venue, learning experience. I met some wonderful people. And I'm back here at the beach.
Well, and we're glad to have you. You started in, for people who don't know, you started in real estate. I mean, you're probably still in there, but I mean that your background is in real estate.
Well, I flew for the Navy, and then I went to commercial real estate. I really stepped away from the commercial real estate side. My license is still there with the company, but this has taken a long time. It's a full-time situation, especially when you're a candidate and you're running. So you work all day. And then, after that, you go out and you're making a stop almost every night. So it's a pretty busy schedule.
And so what has been the biggest challenge so far that you've faced?
I think the biggest challenge, well, there's two challenges. One is Lee County is a big county,
is.
and so it's I had actually on my wall, they had just, my area. And I said, I want the whole county. So every time I sit at the conference table, I see Lee County holistically, and I want to see it because I want to think about the Lehigh or the Cape or the beach every day, and that's just the reminder of how I go through the thing. I think the second thing is time management, as we just briefly talked about. You get to work, and I have to really do the homework to make sure I'm up on each issue, and then 5 or 5:30 you're leaving for a function in the evening, and so you get home at 8:30, 9 o'clock or so. I see my wife briefly. You get up the next morning, you start early again. We got in the car for the Lincoln Reagan dinner on Saturday night, and got in the car. And she works part-time, so she's in retail, so she's working hard. So we get in the car. She looks over. She goes, "Hi, I'm your wife." I go, "Wow, great! I did pretty well." So it's that kind of relationship.
I hope you got her something good for Valentine's Day.
I'm Italian, so she made me a great thing of lasagna the night before, and she sent it to the office. She goes, "Dinner, happy Valentine's Day," which basically said, I'm reminding you that tomorrow's Valentine's Day, and so yes, I was gone when she got up yesterday morning, but yes, I covered that case.
Good.
So, Ray, one of the first things that we saw after you got elected and got started was you were down here at the town council. They sat you up at in front with the council member's seat, and they wanted to give you feedback. They wanted to ask you questions or have you answer questions. It's almost like you're one of them. Like they come to you when they have questions and things like that. And
Great group.
And so one of the big questions is there's construction going on right behind us now.
Really?
And Bruce Butcher came on the show last week.
The walkover.
Yeah, and he had no idea the construction was going on. And so one of the concerns you can see from the town council is there seems like a communication problem between the county and the board. Is that true, A, and how do you fix it?
Well, I think the mayor, the city manager, vice mayor and stuff, Bruce is on the Horizon Council with me. We do talk a lot, and if there was a question, it simply is a matter of giving us a call. But the reason that this happened is that we had to get a permit, and that came from Fish and Wildlife, and you had to do it outside of turtle nesting season. So that really dictated when the work could be done. And it's unfortunate that, it had to happen during the season and stuff. It's a $500,000 project.
It is more than that, yeah. And the turtles seem to dictate a lot on the speech, including the lights and things like that. But we get it.
Wildlife is important to all of us.
Yeah.
We're in their environment.
Right.
So the other thing was the police coverage. It seemed like there was concerns that the sheriff's deputies were letting one person walk over or two people walk over. Has that been addressed so that the traffic can keep flowing?
Well, the traffic piece is important to all of us, and I will tell you that probably a topic that we've had more conversation on is obviously the work that's being done on the road. We started from the north and went to the south. Phase 1's done. Phase 2, I think we're early down to Publix now, and so we can keep moving. So it's getting better, all the time. It takes time, and it takes money, it takes patience. The other thing is, how do we reroute the traffic at the base of the bridge? And we've been through 3 or 4 iterations.
Mm-hmm.
Each of those, we've sat down with the mayor, the city manager, and various people, and we have the ability to model this. The modeling piece from our engineering group is amazing. They could put the traffic in, they could different times a day. And so we're looking at that, and we're very close to basically being able to present a model, to the council and to the citizens and say, all right, here's the 3 models, here's the ones that effectively work the best. What do you think? And then that goes to FDOT, Florida Department of Transportation. And what we want to do is we want to go collectively between the county and the town and say, hey, from us, here's what we like. Can you live with that? And we're hoping that's the answer.
Do we have anything that's
and there you go.
I mean, they should have at least stopped while you were here, right?
No.
Do you know if there is something that's almost finalized for that spot yet? Are we close to a resolution for that? And when is it going to start? Is it going to be coordinated with TPI?
Well, it's close in the fact that we started with, I think the original model was to do a roundabout, okay? And then the town came up with something that was a little bit different than that. Roundabouts, pluses and minuses, especially if you're from out of town, where it is, they just don't quite understand it.
New Jersey loves them. I know that.
Well, I come from New Jersey. I don't know about that,
They're there.
We break all the laws there. And then we came up with an alternative to that, and it was sensitivity. How does 5th Street come out, and where do they turn? Where does we come down the bridge, and how does that work? And again, we can plug it into the modeling, and you can watch the traffic flow from that way. The second part of that is obviously public safety. Where are the crosswalks? And where will people go, and will people buy that? Do they have to go across 4 lanes? Can they go across 2 lanes to a median and then go across? So the other piece, locally then has been, the police officer that's out here now helping with traffic. And I think that we're all more cognizant when somebody's telling you to stop or go instead of people trying to make their own decisions. So, on the broader space with safety, the Sheriff's Department has done an amazing job. Crime is down 18.6%. The relationship between our sheriff and Amira Fox, who's just, I love her. I mean, it's sensational. So,
well, one more question on that issue. It seems like the traffic flow issue is more of a pedestrian problem because people are crossing the street everywhere, and there's so many different driveways here, which I know a lot of them are going to be eliminated when TPI builds Margaritaville, but the pedestrians are really even though there's a sheriff's deputy here and a sheriff's deputy here, they're crossing everywhere, and the cars are nice enough to let them through.
Well, I don't have arms as big as you, so I can't stop them, Come
I mean,
on.
and I know that you can't put a railing up all the way because it looks silly, but that might stop them.
There has been that suggestion that we put a railing to try to funnel traffic. And then you always get somebody who's trying to jump over the railing or skateboard on the railing and stuff. So there's no perfect solution. The fact of the matter is if people understand and are courteous. One thing that I've noticed, because I've been back and forth a number of times on the beach here, and again, like it takes time, it takes money, but it also takes patience. I've been pretty impressed with people that will slow down, let people come through so people can turn, and it's a great community out here. So it's always tough during season because you have people that don't know the area and they're trying to get from A to B. And
they're thinking about their vacation. They're not worried about backing up because they're there having a good time.
Well, that's what we're here for.
Right.
I couldn't wait to get back here this morning. I go to the beach tomorrow morning.
Now, in regards to public safety, the lighting situation is kind of an ongoing situation there. What can be done to kind of move that along, and what proposals? There's been a lot of there's proposals and studies that have long 5 years.
Everything we're trying to do is trying to do in coordination between the county and the town. So they've come up with, because they live, the town folks live here every day, so they see it on a daily basis, and so they've come up with a lighting sequence. We've come up with a lighting sequence where we can go into best practices in different places. And again, what we're trying to do is coordinate those two. And again, that goes back to FDOT and say, hey, here's what we recommend. And I think FDOT is the folks that I've met have been very reasonable. I'm big for local control. If the town wants it this way and the county's in agreement with it, then we go united. And I think they're better with that.
So what solution do you favor the most for the lights down here? What do you want to see installed? And when the hell can we get some lights down here?
Everybody wants everything tomorrow, and I wish I could tell you that. Everything's a process. It's just like, over here, at the beach walk. All of a sudden you think, oh, let's get it done, and say, well, you need a permit for that, and you have to do that. It's permits, it's solutions and everything, and my hope would be that certainly within 12 months we would have a better lighting situation. I think that might change a little bit once we get the final resolution at the base of the bridge and the traffic pattern.
Ray, what do you think about...
I wish I could be more definitive on some of these, but it takes more time.
What do you think about this whole lawsuit and TPI?
Well, it's frustrating for everybody, because it's been in planning for so long. I think everybody's excited for what that will bring to the beach because of the location and because of the size. It will change, and attract, people and everything. Private property rights, everybody has those, and you have to be honored. So if the opposing people want to continue that, the concern always is if you can't get to a resolution, one side throws up their hands, and walks away. Yeah. And that would be terrible, unfortunate. Yeah. But, time is money, and the longer it drags on, the more, finances. Everybody's excited about it. I can't wait to see it when it's done, but we'll see.
I know. I think people get, like you said, they get excited, and then it's like at the last minute, stop. We're going to wait.
We're going to the courts, and the courts take time, and it's frustrating, So it's, but hopefully persistence will prevail, and we'll have a great new venue.
Go ahead, dear. You're directing restaurant traffic.
See, I told you he's the one who direct traffic out there.
Right.
He demanded them to sit down there.
Again, to the surprise of people on the beach, at some point, there's some point in the water that the speed limit was raised, and it's driving people crazy down here. What caused the speed limit on the water to be raised?
A couple things, and I'm not the expert on everything, but if you have a problem, Jackie has a bullhorn and she directs traffic on the other side. What happened was, long before I was here and long before maybe some of us are here, there were signs posted, that controlled the speed in the no wake zones and so on and so forth. When Irma came through, a lot of those old signs came down. And all of a sudden, so who's doing what? So again, a process. You have to go back, to Fish and Wildlife, and they say, hey, then now we're going to repost it, but some of them didn't even know what the old signs said. So now Fish and Wildlife goes back and they remap the whole area in conjunction with the county and say, put these signs here. Now, those signs obviously changed to some degree in some areas. And so now we're going through the process again of trying to say, okay, where's the old map? And you can't find the old map. Where are the areas of concern, and how do we repost this and change it? And again, it's something that takes some time. We haven't had a lot of complaints, but one's too many. You know, look, when you talk about manatees, you talk about
dolphins,
dolphins and stuff.
Oh, those pictures of the dolphins this past week were brutal. Who does that?
And I was up. Get off subject. I was up in Sarasota, and my daughter was with a friend on the jet ski in a no-wake zone, and they had slowed down. We were back on the boat. Somebody went by in a no-wake zone, blew them right off the jet ski.
You should be allowed to shoot people when they do that.
Well, I mean, as a paddle boarder, I'm always like, hey, Can you?
I can't take too much of a wake.
I mean, if I fall in, it's not gonna, do too much damage. But could you be a little courteous?
So, are you saying they're reevaluating
Yes.
that? Okay, they are. So it might come down in certain spots where you might get a complaint or something.
The problem is we don't have the old maps, basically to say this is the way it was.
Who lost the maps? I mean, how do you lose maps?
I don't know. Magellan.
Well, they
go back to
probably
Magellan or somebody. I don't know.
They're probably on paper, and I mean,
oh come on,
probably parchment paper.
Could have been.
Go ahead.
So you're now. It'll be 9 months when your election comes up, or
August is the primary.
Oh, you're in the primary.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I just assumed you were running against somebody. Who's running against you?
I have one opponent, Nick Betos.
Never heard of
him. And good. No, he's a good guy. Nick Betos from Estero on the Republican side, and there's a Democratic.
I did see the Democrat. We invited him on the show, but he never responded. So don't vote for him either, people. So how is the campaign going?
Well, I guess the voters will decide. They'll be the judge of that.
Well, how do you feel?
August. I feel good. I mean, the best part is I enjoy going to work every day, and the best part has been I've met some great people. I've been to places within the county that, I was just a happy citizen 8 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I took my trash out. Where's the trash go? I don't know. It disappears. It's pretty magic. Now, when you go up to the waste to energy plant and you look at that, the way that was put together,
right?
You drive in, it looks like a park.
Right.
Everything's taken care of. We used to go to a dump when I was a kid in New Jersey, and they're incinerating 90%, of the waste.
Now people are dying in that area.
And, you don't even know it's there, and so, but we're getting to capacity. We're going to have to expand that and at some point look at another site. But it's those type of things that you get a real appreciation for the work that was done prior to me stepping in, and you want to carry that forward. So.
I'm going to step back a little bit because I was thinking, and I couldn't get a word in edgewise, but then you were letting me, when you talked about the size of the county,
right?
And there's been people who have talked about, how big it is and how hard that is, and should maybe the Cape break off. Have you heard discussions about that or anything about that?
No, I mean, there's always somebody who has a theory about something, and you respect it. And sometimes, you think, gee, I never looked at it that way. The first week I think I was in office, the mayors all got together with me, and I asked them each for some advice, and fortunately 5 of the 6 mayors now have endorsed me, and stuff like this. So I feel good about that because they're the local experts in what they're doing. I think there are other areas that are looking at incorporating, and again, home rule I think has a lot of positives. But there's a lot of challenges to that, so they can learn from the ones that have done it. Doesn't mean it's for everybody, but at least we have some templates that they could work off of.
Yeah.
But as far as any annexations and stuff, I've not heard that. And I know the mayor of Cape Coral very well. He's a good Italian boy from New Jersey too, so we're going to stick together.
Somebody suggested that a parking garage over on the other side of the bridge to help to help get people over to the beach more. Is that a possibility with any Lee County land?
I think they've looked at it. The question is, does the parking? Well, 2 issues. One is once they get over the bridge, where do you park? And so I've actually requested from the town, just can you give me a map? Because people will ask me all the time, how much parking do we have? Where can they go? And I want to be able to be as well versed or semi-versed or point in the right direction. So that's one issue. I think if you put it on the other side, then people get in the garage, how much stuff do they have? Then they have to get on something else in order to get over to the beach.
Right.
So how much does that work? I think that we're open to almost any possibility, and we'll continue to morph with that. But I'm just happy that the road is getting done.
It looks great. I mean, more that gets done. It's just they're doing a super job. It's frustrating, but
of course
it looks. I mean, a few years from now, nobody will care.
I was out with Phil Flood from Swift Mud out at C43, and I did the whole thing from the reservoir all the way down. And I said to Phil, I said, when did the concept of this start? He goes, 95. 2000, we started posting the ground. 2006, the zoning. So I said, you're in this for 20 years. He goes, yeah. And that's the thing that we have to, I think, as Lee County Commission, we have to look 20 years down the road.
Yeah.
And we have to take care of the day-to-day stuff, but you got to put those pieces in place so they do come to fruition at a reasonable time.
What's the status of the, I forget the name of the bridge. I know Ray Murphy took you down there because he
Carlos.
What's the status of the repairing or replacing that?
The plan was done. There was some concerns about the placement of the span. The whole thing is to take it so it doesn't open up, and so it's going to be a solid span. But then you have to raise it in order to get boats a certain size under. That plan has been done. You ought to see the model. Come down sometime and take and see the model of it. And what they did was, and I talked to Ray, and I've been down to Ray's. Unfortunately, his mom passed away about 6 months ago. But anyhow, the span has been moved farther south so that it doesn't encumber the viewpoints. And we get the line of sight view things. Nothing is ever satisfies everybody, but it'll be a solid span. So in case something malfunctions or in terms of evacuation, you got that solid span.
So when might that project start?
I think it's about, I'm going to say 15 months away, something like that.
You're going to say 15 years.
No.
What's the
15 years?
Ray? What
20 years down the road? Well, that'd be it.
That's right.
What is the economic?
It'll be no different podcast then.
What's the economic impact of Fort Myers Beach for a year on Lee County?
Boy, I don't have that number. I will tell you that this road work here is $80 million. Just the road work, $80 million. So the county is going to invest that money because this is an economic engine, a very attractive one. We had a group in town yesterday for the Edison Awards, which is for innovation and stuff. Great group from all over the country. And I think they were very impressed with what they saw and the plans that we had. And we're looking for them for best practices and stuff. So Fort Myers Beach is important to all of us from a personal perspective, from a professional perspective. And that's why we're making those investments, whether it's in the road or in the bridge.
Do you feel like the county?
The chainsaw.
I know, right?
I know.
He's fixing something. Do you feel like the county pays enough attention to the beach or should be paying more?
Well, everybody wants more attention. I want more attention. No.
Well, you can come back next week then.
I'll come back whenever you want. I will tell you that my relationship with the mayor and Ray and Bruce, who's on the Horizon Council with me, Rick, your city manager, Roger and stuff. I enjoy our conversations. We talk about a lot of different things. We talk about with the FAA,
right,
trying to accommodate the noise situation.
And just backing up on that, there is some concern that they're flying too low and it's making too much noise, or they're coming in a different way and they're making a lot of noise.
Well, the FAA has been very accommodating to the point that they can. They've looked at different approach plates that take it a little bit south to the west. A lot of things are dictated by winds and traffic patterns.
Right.
The other part is altitudes. And they've set it to 3,000 feet over the beach. That's and we looked at maybe moving it in. The only problem with that is the discretion always lies with the guy up front driving. He's got the safety of the passengers, and if whether it's visibility or something like that, he's got the final discretion. But, there's going to be a meeting with them again, a follow-on meeting. The relationship has been very good, and we're very pleased that we're working cooperatively, and that's with the city and with the county.
Go ahead.
No, I have I was going to do the last question. But go ahead.
Okay, hold on for the last one. What is the number one issue in Lee County?
Oh, I definitely think it's growth. We always hear that there's 1,000 people a day coming to Florida. Where's that number come from? 3.5 million people come in the last 10 years. That's 350,000, a year divided by the number of days. That's where that number comes from. So what I did is I took that kind of same formula and I backed it into Lee County, and there's 37 people a day moving into Lee County.
Wow.
37 yesterday, 37 today, 37 tomorrow, and
So it's managing that growth.
so it's managing growth, and everything's tied together. It's not one thing or the other. Water is obviously critical to us, and it's for many reasons. Roads are, critical to us, and there's a whole priority system based on road maintenance, as well as where the new roads go. When we have a zoning meeting, the first thing I look at is where are we with the roads? Can we accommodate that in the zoning process? And again, roads take time; they take money.
Well, yes, we live right off of 82, and so we know. And we appreciate those lanes now, but it took a while.
I'm usually going north every morning to go to the county building, and I see the traffic coming south. So it's a reminder every day of what people are going through. Now, we're looking at, as you know, different roadways and different connection points to help to alleviate some of that, so that we keep moving. But number one issue is growth. The good side of that, we're bringing a lot of intellectual capital to here. It's expanding our tax base, and we're able to manage it that way.
And I know you would never ask this, but I'm going to. How can people donate to your campaign? Where can they go? I mean, do you have a website set up? Because we want you to be the commissioner in the next election too. You're awesome.
Well, I'll leave
You're too nice to be a politician, but awesome. I'll put that up on our site.
It's got a website there, or they can mail a check, and the address is on there.
Awesome.
And people say, so why should we vote for you? And
that was my question.
There you go. Great question.
If you have the answer,
that
share
was the great question.
No,
because you're amazing.
Well, no. I look at it this way. I think you've got a great group this is a great community. I hope I can give them enough information that I can earn their vote. But I will tell anybody when they go in, use your head, use your heart. When you pull the trigger, do it for the right reasons. And I hope I can earn that between now and August.
So does a campaign for county commissioner include signage and TV ads, radio? How do you, what kind of a war chest do you need for a county commissioner?
It's fairly substantial, you know, and that's probably the hardest part for me.
Yeah, asking people for money.
Yeah, you know, because you're so used to.
But you can't win without it.
That's right. As a community, you always ask, what can I do for you? What can we do to improve the beach? What can we do for this? So to go out and ask somebody, what can you do for me, is a little bit odd. Yeah. However, I will tell you that most people realize that if we've got a great county team right now. I mean, almost in every sense. There's a great chemistry there.
Yes.
And so I think people realize that it's very different than it was 5 years ago. $50 million in debt, people doing things a different way.
Yeah.
This team really works as a team. And I did an interview with Carmine, and I said the only word that is more important to me than team is family. And if we can work as a team and we can think of each other as a family, boy, then we're really clicking.
Yeah. Do you think the sheriff's got a good chance to win re-election or election?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay. You're in favor.
I think the world of him. And,
good.
And it's not just him. He puts somebody in each community. So people are seeing the sheriff before they have to see the lights because of an emergency. That's been invaluable. Those guys are tremendous. And then the coordination between him, like an Amira Fox, she's sensational. They work well together, and one has to work with the other in order for the end result to be a positive. And like I said before, I think crime was down 18.6%. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal.
Cool.
When you look at all the things that they have to cover. So,
any last questions for
I'm
just
here? So glad that you were able to come down, and we enjoy having you down here. And I know your energy is infectious.
Your office is so great to us too. I mean, your team there—they're so nice to us, and we appreciate that. And
Charlotte is
she's the best.
Unbelievable.
She's the best. Yeah,
she keeps me alive.
Yeah,
so approachable. We really.
Well, we hope it's always that way. We're here for the citizens of Lee County, and I think culture is one of the big things in that team. We remind ourselves of that every day, and so
thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Good luck in the race. If there's anything we can do to help, a rough handshake there, man. Have you been doing your push-ups?
I haven't. I did 10 this morning. So I'm going to go down and
10.
So like this.
Awesome.
And thank you for the gift. I appreciate it.
Ray Sandelli, everybody, County Commissioner. Thanks, Ray. All righty, folks. Before we sign off today, there are some things I want to remind you about. Our friends at the women's club, and for the beach kids, they're having their high rolling at the beach. Oh, you got to get Nikki over here. Yeah, she's here. We want her to talk. That's going to be next weekend from 6 to 10 at the women's club, 175 Sterling Avenue. Check out their fundraising Facebook page for details at FMB PTO annual fundraising, FMB PTO annual fundraising. So check out that. It's going to be a great event. We went last year. It's like a big circus tent. They have all these gambling things going on. So we want you to go.
Oh,
check
the high
them
rolling?
out. The high rolling at the beach is next Saturday. So you won't be able to go because Steve is sitting in for you next week. You'll be we'll be in Nashville
That's
for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then you'll be in Chattanooga with Jillian. So it's been a while since Nikki's been on, so have at it, you two.
So hi, so glad you came down today, and thank you for last minute. Yes, us pulling you in, and thank you for the balloons. That was very
I
sweet.
didn't want your 100th episode to go by without saying congratulations.
I know you've been here since practically the beginning.
Yeah, it feels like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us what's new, what's going on with FMB Remodeling and Design.
Season is here.
Yeah, so
season's here, and it's just busy, and we're fortunate. So, we've had a couple drag out that are not on the island, so it's taking us out of our comfort zone a little bit and into the traffic.
Right.
So, but other than that, we're trying to keep up. So it's really good. We're not complaining.
What are some of the new things, new projects that you're working on? What are you seeing people
I've got
do?
a really good closet one getting ready to start. I'm really excited about that. I love closets. And then we've still got the one that we've been working on for a while. That's just a completely down to the studs that we started that one. So that one will be coming along here quickly. I'll have some pictures for you guys because now that we have our hands into it, it's gonna come together pretty quick now.
So you do so that people know you do stuff all the way down to the studs to just.
Yep. This one had to be literally gutted for mold remediation. So when we walked in, it was nothing, like you could see through the whole house.
Right.
So it was a bit of a surprise. And we've had to work with other contractors. We had plumbers; they had to replumb it, and we don't do that, but we have plumbers that will. So yeah, it's been,
so you guys coordinate all of that
yeah.
and take care of that so the homeowner doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of it. Mm-hmm.
So tell us about the closets. Like, is this going to be one of those closets with the chandelier in it and seating?
No, but it's just as cool, I think, because I'm actually making an office area in one of them. So we're gonna have like a little desk, a mini desk. It's just a reach-in closet. It's a very normal, small closet that you see everywhere. Not a walk-in,
right?
But we're gonna have like where you can mount like a TV in one of them, so you don't have to have that out in the room. And then in the other one, we're gonna have like a small desk area, so where you can have a chair and then you can close it off. And
that's what we got to do, dear. You missed it. She's doing a closet redo where they're putting an office area in there. We're going to put you in the office.
We're going to put you in the closet.
I'm going to put you in the closet. Yeah. So now you got me off track as soon as she.
Oh, sorry,
yeah. So talk
question.
about is it?
Oh, the she
shed.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's me and Karen. Karen over here too.
Yeah.
Yes, we have our little she shed, and it's matching her house. It'll be ready here soon. We're actually putting in an outdoor shower and an outdoor bathroom to go with it. And so when people rent it, she has like a small little wading pool. There's a hot tub. It's full amenities.
I mean, it's not really a shed.
No, it's cute. Yeah, it's really
cute.
It matches her house exactly. I did her remodel almost 2 years ago now. And so we found the she shed, and it was close. It was like really close to like what we did. But the blues were just a little off, so we had to go in and paint the blues.
Oh, did you?
It's exact match, and it looks like just a miniature version of her house, and it's just so cute.
And so that's going to be something that people can rent.
Yeah, we're gonna put it on Airbnb.
Like Airbnb
for season, anyways. And then I think in off season it'll probably be an F&B designs and remodeling office. So, but yeah, in season we're gonna rent it out.
That is cool. So now tell us. I know that we talked last time about how you don't actually have a showroom, but you are able to bring it to people.
Yeah, I have samples of so much stuff. So literally a whole garage full I've now discovered since we moved. So our whole garage is our stuff. So I have samples of all kinds of flooring, cabinetry, doors. I mean, you name it, I have it. So I like to go in and give like a brief consult, get a good idea of what somebody's looking for, and then come back usually with a couple options.
Like, do you do those vision boards and that kind of?
Yeah, kind of something along those lines. Yeah.
Well, we want to thank you for being a sponsor for as long as you have. That's been pretty awesome. So thank you so much for that. Appreciate it.
I've got a lot of good business from you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Keep saying that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have room for one soon, I think. Yeah.
Well, why don't you give out your information so that everyone can get a hold of you?
So you can get me on Facebook. That's where all my before and afters are. I do have a website that if you go to, you can reach me through that too. I don't update it as much as I should. But it is just fmbdesignsremodeling.com. Same thing on Facebook, name, and then the phone number is 239-362-8408.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
No
Nikki.
problem.
Thank you for
Thank you.
coming.
Congratulations, guys.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the balloons. And before we sign off, dear, I did want to bring up one thing about, there go my notes again. And that was what I was going to talk about, but I think I have it memorized. It's so windy here today, but it's a nice, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
To Cheney Brothers,
yes,
guy
thank
running
you,
out
yeah.
there.
And
He's
I'm about to
working
lose it again.
hard. Yeah.
Anyway, what I wanted to mention about TPI was that the oral arguments have been set for April the 15th. We know that. That means that we're
Interesting choice of days.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what helped me remember it was on that day. What we do know that is that they get 20 minutes each. Let's say it gets that far. There's a chance it might not get that far. So we're basically, one ruling away from everything being over. It's not going to go to the Supreme Court. I mean, I don't know that for 100%.
Be
but
careful. You know what? You say that. Don't even put that out there.
The only reason it would go to the Supreme Court is if there was something that was determined to be unconstitutional. And so anyway, April 15th is oral arguments, and pretty much from what we understand, this is the last stop before this is over and done with, and this can finally really get rolling. Although TPI has not really ever stopped their plans. But what happens is you get 20, if it goes to that, you get 20 minutes to make your argument. He gets 20 minutes to respond. However, the judges could look at this right now and tomorrow decide this is garbage and kick it out. So any day you could see news that it's over. It doesn't for crying out loud. It doesn't mean that just because it's been set for April the 15th, it doesn't mean that it's going to actually happen at all. There's a chance that the judges could look at it and say, we're not wasting our time with this, which is a possibility. So I just wanted
So you're going to be
everybody
on
know
pins
that.
and needles until April 15th.
I'm going to look every day. I'm going to call every day because my prediction is
call every day.
My prediction is they know me at the court now from calling.
Great.
My prediction is it will never get that far. There's just been too many rulings against her. There've been too many rulings that were in favor of the fact that the town went through all the motions to get everything approved, and they did it with enough hearings, and they gave everybody enough notice. I just think that this Ralph Brooks guy that's his MO. This is what he tries to do, and it's this attorney it's a delaying tactic, and I just believe that it's all going to come to an end. So thank you very much, Steve, for picking that up. Let's see. Steve sent us a note. Yes, I saw that he was in the crowd. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was what? What did you want to mention? Anything?
No, I didn't know if you were going to talk about the $50 parking.
Oh, yeah. Well, you all got some propaganda in the mail yesterday. It arrived yesterday, and we appreciate the folks that sent the information over to us. And when it said that there was a possibility that, this was being delayed, that the project was being delayed, and there's new delays. It made it sound like that Patton was winning and Conadieris was winning. And it also came up, I think what they were trying to do is say, if this project gets approved, parking is going to be even worse than it is now. And they said that, parking can get up to $25 or $50 for the
25 in off season and 50 in season. I have never. I've seen it at 20.
Where have you seen it at 20?
Sometimes when there's events going on, I've seen it get up to 20.
I've only seen it at 15, like the majority of time. But there could have been 20s.
And someone did mention that a little bit down the beach, the friendly guy who has that
the parking Nazi?
Yes, that he'll get it up there to 20.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so the
50,
point is,
come on.
The point is that we think that Patton and Conadieris are behind that. You can't find anybody that is in the Save the Beaches organization or Save Our Beaches organization, that it's somebody out of town that's like I don't know if you call him a lobbyist or something like that, but he gets his nose into things that he probably doesn't even know anything about, and they send him the money, and they find a mailing list, and they send it out to people on the beach. So I don't even know what the goal of that is. Nobody on the beach believes that.
I think it's to just muddy the waters, and I think, TPI and Tom and John have answered many, many times about the parking
Yeah.
that's going to be provided and alleviate those concerns about the project and the parking with the project numerous times. So if you have questions, go and review their plan
Yeah,
because
check
they
out-
have it planned.
Well, you can not only check out their website where they are very detailed, but you can also watch the press release in full.
Exactly. Yeah.
There was no editing of the press
Mm-mm.
release that Tom and John put on, so there was no miscommunication. It came right from them. And some of the things that I learned from their press release was, if you go down the boulevard now, there's driveways and there's sidewalks and there's people coming in and out because there are different businesses there.
Mhm.
Well, he brought up there's going to be seven spots that are there now that won't be there anymore for people to pull in because it's going to be
Right.
one resort. So that eliminates, you would think that would eliminate some of the issue there. But the other issue that he brought up was when they have their parking garage, the way they have people exiting the beach, they will never come on Estero Boulevard. So, I mean, the only argument that might hold any water is that hopefully more people are going to want to come down there to spend their money on.
Well, that's not a negative.
But, right. But once they get here, they're not going to be driving around in their cars.
No.
And most people come to a hotel when 12, 1, 2 o'clock when they can check in. So anyway,
They're going to park and they're going to stay.
And
The
they're gonna
car is
walk.
going to stay there and they're going to walk around.
Right.
There's transportation on the beach and they're going to walk the beach. That's
Right.
what they're here for.
So hopefully in the next few days or weeks, we can give you the information that it's all over with. And I'm sure they're going to
You're
invite
going to
you.
have a little party?
I'm sure they're going to invite you to the groundbreaking with your special.
Ooh.
I mean, you get a special glass. I didn't get a glass. You're probably going to get a special shovel. The last thing I wanted to mention.
I want a key to a room.
Yeah, right. A suite, not a room.
Oh, hey, I'll take anything.
And TPI does not sponsor our show. They've never given
for
us
the
any money.
millionth
Yeah, we don't
time.
need to go through that again.
Yeah.
But the last thing I wanted to mention was when I went to the gym this morning, I
Okay.
realized that I was really in a routine. When I left the gym, my watch said
This is the first time you realized that?
19 minutes to Pete's timeout. Traffic is light.
Oh, my goodness.
Is that not strange the way things have technologically
Yeah,
advanced?
no. I mean, you look at anything
Hi, guys.
and then it's
Where you
on.
from? Come on over. Where you from? Well, we got special guests today.
Look at,
Where you from?
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Michigan. All right. So the
Wow.
weather's a little different down here, huh?
Definitely.
Where are you staying?
We're staying in White Circles. Yeah.
It's where?
It's Pink Panther. A Pink Panther.
Pink Shell? Is it the Pink Shell?
are you staying in a hotel or are you staying in a vacation home?
Vacation home.
That's what
Very
I
cool.
thought.
So did you come by for breakfast or something to eat?
Yeah. We're eating at this Greek.
Okay. We don't. Okay. You're staying
Yeah,
at
that's
Plaka's right next door. Good.
Are you guys on vacation from school?
Spring break or something? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Special
that-
days off. All right. Oh my God. There's a whole crew of the blonde kids. Wow. There's
Wow.
4 of them here. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming over. Wait, are you all you're twins? You're all twins, right? No.
You're all
Are you all
brothers?
friends?
No.
You're all brothers. 4 brothers. You all look the same age to me. Don't they look the same age? All right. How old are you?
9.
9? All right. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for coming over. Enjoy
Thank
your
you,
breakfast.
guys.
Everybody, it's like a big, what do you?
They already ate.
Oh, they already ate.
Yeah.
It's like a little show out here. Everybody wants to see
Yeah.
what's going on.
Oh, the kids
With
are
the
great.
balloons and everything. All right. We've been on way too long, folks. Thanks very
All
much.
right, roll it up.
We'll be back. Thanks again to Ray Sandelli, everybody.
Yay!
Vote Ray Sandelli in the election. And we will see you all
Thank
1
you.
week from today, right here, Pete's Timeout, table 23. Come on down, have some food, and dance it out, wife.
That's right. Dun, 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 dun.